Walker Buehler's comeback will not happen in 2023. The Chargers appear to have decided on their defensive star, and uncertainty abounds because it's curious. Has USC's defense actually improved? Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is September 9th, 2023. I'm back in Salt Lake City. And I gotta tell you something. You might be sitting there, you might hear it in the background, all the noise from the construction zone and all the dents in the wall that the construction people have been leaving when they sleep here. It sounds horrible. How do you get a good night's sleep? But there's always a plus if you look for it. My plus? Porta potties as far as the eye can see out the window. Just row after row after row. And with a guy like me, with a prostate like mine, that's actually a very lovely gesture to leave them around for me. So I really appreciate it, Salt Lake. Well done. By the way, do you like to be in the know about LA sports? Well, if you do, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And comment. Because I miss LA right now. Boy, do I miss LA. Before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Yesterday, JD Martinez, Kike Hernandez, Max Muncy, they all hit home runs. Dodgers 8, Washington 5. They'll play again today at 3, by the way. Bobby Miller is 9-3 with a 3.80 ERA. Might wind up being the Dodgers' playoff ace at this rate. He'll be facing Kevin Gausman, who is 10-8 with a 3.39 ERA. Stanford will be at number 6 ranked USC at 7:30. Now, not that I'm into gambling, because I'm not, but USC is a 29.5 point favorite. That might drop a hint. Also, UCLA is going down south to play San Diego State at 4:30. Now, despite the three-headed quarterback controversy that I have been harping about for the last couple of weeks, the Bruins have actually won the last 10 games where they attempted more running plays than they do pass plays. So the Bruins actually, if they stick to the ground game, probably are getting the W. If you want to talk more about either USC or UCLA, look on their playlist. I added another episode of Friday Night Chalk Talk. We talk about the Rams, Chargers, USC, and UCLA there. Finally, LAFC is in Portland at 7:30. The Black and Gold are on a 2-game losing streak. They are 3rd in the Western Conference. But what do you say we talk a little Dodger baseball to start? Now, the cavalry simply isn't coming for the Dodgers, especially not in the pitching. It is not happening. We had anticipated, Walker Buehler had anticipated, being back in LA in about a week. Instead, he's done for the year. He was on a rehab assignment over in Oklahoma City. He was trying to recover from his second Tommy John surgery. The first outing just went fantastic, pitched a couple of innings. He was supposed to pitch out there last night. And then all of a sudden, there was a press release. Now we're going to shut him down. We're going to shut him down. The Dodgers are spinning it as if to ask, why should we rush things if at best he can only give us 1 or 2 innings at a time when he returns to the major leagues? And I have to be real with you. That is not a bad rhetorical question to ask. It's not. But here's a really good factual, based in reality question to ask. Who the hell is going to pitch for this team in the playoffs? Who? Every inning you would imagine counts. Now, I'm not saying they made the wrong decision. Here's the thing. We don't know if there may have been some pain or some discomfort in Walker Buehler's elbow, and that was the cause. The Dodgers are not saying a damn thing about it. So who the hell is, if you have to shut Walker Buehler down because maybe he felt a little tweak there, a twinge in the hinge, I get it. I do. But if we don't know, then we're sitting there asking who could get those extra outs. Because right now you're looking at Clayton Kershaw, Bobby Miller, and then what? You've got 2 other pitchers out for the year in Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May. You've got a third who has to probably post bail in about a week and a half, for Pete's sakes. So the cavalry's not coming. That is going to be a shockingly young pitching staff going into the playoffs this year. I am not going to claim that I have a future in detective work. Hell, at my age, I'm not going to claim I have a future at all. I know better. But when Julio Arias was arrested in a domestic violence case last weekend, and we were first talking about it on tape, I was mentioning how I believe that, the cops are going to be poring over videos, just poring over them. And why? Because it's Exposition Park. Exposition Park is smack dab in the middle it's the buffer between USC and South Central Los Angeles. You don't think they're going to put a lot of cameras there? They have museums there. They have not just BMO Stadium or the Coliseum. They have this massive rose garden out there. You guys have probably been there. Why wouldn't you have cameras in the Science Museum, for Pete's sake? You don't want somebody coming in and trying to spray paint the space shuttle. You don't. So yeah, the cops found the tapes. Now, what are they saying the tapes actually have? No bleeping clue. But yeah, we knew this all along. The cops were going to have videotapes. That is the latest news in the Julio Arias story. Freddie Freeman cracked his 53rd double of the season on Friday, which sets a team record. It passes Johnny Frederick, who set it back in 1929. It was a much simpler time then. Baseballs were made of turd and dead houseflies. But back in our more enlightened times, Freeman is actually on a pace for 61 doubles. Nobody has passed 60 in Major League Baseball at all since 1936. So keep an eye on Freeman. He's pursuing something extremely rare. Mookie Betts has been downgraded. They thought he might be able to play over the weekend, and then the Dodgers are like, nah, whatever. He's just going to miss the weekend series with the Nationals. Now, you're hearing different reports if you go to the actual print press about this, if there is such a thing as a printed press anymore. Half of them are saying, yeah, they're just being precautionary. Half of them are like, oh my God, this is bad news. He's an MVP candidate, and they're sitting him. What does this mean? Honestly, sometimes when the Dodgers talk about injuries, I don't really buy it. Oh, a pitcher has forearm strain. Next thing you know, they're just basically hacking off his arm and putting in a bionic instead. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that, you know what, we're 12 and a half games up on the rest of the NL West, maybe we could give Mookie Betts a couple of days off, I'll buy it. And besides, Mookie Betts has had CT and an X-ray on the limb. There's no structural damage. So I'll be okay with it for now. JD Martinez, I mentioned his home run last night's game. That was his first at-bat off of the injured list. As a process to bring Martinez back to the majors, Michael Busch was sent back down to AAA Oklahoma City. Honestly, guys, it was the right call. Not just because Martinez is that good of a hitter, but Busch was only hitting 167 this year. A lot of Dodgers news. We have talked a lot since this show began about the star position for both the Chargers and the Rams. Brandon Staley, the current Chargers head coach, he created it when he was over at the Rams as their defensive coordinator. It's a hybrid position for a defensive back. You could line him up as you could line him up at the corner. You could line him up as a safety. You could theoretically cheat, have him line up as a linebacker because that particular player likes to stop the run. Hell, you could even say go for broke and take that quarterback / safety / linebacker and put him all the way up on defensive line and have him be a defensive end because that player likes to go in and make tackles, whether it's the running back or the quarterback. So it's a really important position. Jalen Ramsey played it excellently for the Rams for a couple of years. Last year for the Chargers, surprisingly, it was Bryce Callahan. He's no longer on the team, by the way. So they need a new quote-unquote star. And the Athletic believes that the Chargers have made their selection. It's just not Brandon Staley coming out and going, he's our star. That player is Asante Samuel Jr. Now, because it's Asante Samuel, because he's going to be having all these responsibilities, I need to make a correction from Friday Night Chalk Talk. Last night, I was mentioning that I believed that Asante Samuel was going to be lining up one-on-one versus Tyreek Hill, the speedster who used to play for the Chiefs, now plays for the Dolphins. If you are playing the star position, you simply do not face just one guy. You're not simply a shutdown corner. Samuel will play slot D in the nickel and dime packages for the Chargers most likely this year. The star that plays a lot in the slot because, again, to repeat, with that particular position, you can disguise yourself. You can theoretically line up as an edge rusher. You could line up as a linebacker. You could line up as a safety. A lot of responsibilities. So we've been saying this over and over since the bowl season, that how important it is for USC and UCLA to start playing defense. Are you like me? Because I've been looking for weaknesses in the Trojans' defense. Not because I think the Trojans are going to lose to a team like Stanford or San Jose State or Nevada. No, the reason is because if the Trojans get exploited by clever play calling from some of these teams, it doesn't put the Trojans in position to lose now. It puts the Trojans in position to lose later when they're playing teams like Oregon, Utah, UCLA, whoever they might face in a bowl game or the college football playoffs. So, I am going to speculate, or rather the Athletic is going to speculate, on perceived weaknesses in USC's defense so far. They speculated that San Jose State exploited an undisciplined pass rush. And then they came back and they said that Nevada kept testing the Trojans' defensive backs by throwing deep. So my question to you, by the way, say hello to my friend the housefly, lovely hotel here. My question to you, do you buy that? Do you? I'm not sure I buy the undisciplined pass rush being consistent. The reason I'm curious about that is because that's something theoretically you can get rid of with competent coaching. On the other hand, the defensive backs, I kind of do buy it, because if you can't keep up with other teams' receivers on deep routes, maybe that's a question of whether or not the cornerbacks are good enough at SC. It's way too early to know for sure. I'm simply asking. Bear Alexander, according to Pro Football Focus, leads all defensive tackles in Power 5 conferences with 8 quarterback pressures. Now, only 4 tackles. He doesn't have any sacks, but he has 8 quarterback pressures. Now, Georgia fans keep poking the bear, pardon the pun, because they're saying, oh, you're not getting any sacks, so you're obviously not making an impact. On the other hand, USC is allowing just 3.8 yards per rush play per game. Is it possible that Bear Alexander, by creating such pressure up the middle, is wreaking havoc on the other team's running lanes, on the chance for the quarterback to make a pass without having to scramble out of the pocket? Just asking. So again, questions abound. I don't say I have the answers yet, but questions abound for SC's defense. It is not just Cooper Kupp who will miss LA's season opener for the Rams up in Seattle. Reserve quarterback Stetson Bennett and tight end Hunter Long are out. Kupp could still go on injured reserve. The Rams have not made their decision yet. They're supposed to decide that, though, by today in order to have this week count in the 4 weeks that you spend on injured reserve. Former Kings captain Dustin Brown was named to the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame in 2023. So, the man has 2 Stanley Cups, retired jersey, statue at Crypto.com, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. How was your week? Not so good for me. How was yours? Finally, the Sparks were eliminated from playoff contention last night. Chicago Sky eliminated them. They won their game last night. Sparks can't catch them. There will be an autopsy on this season performed by ESPN because they really care about women's sports, and of course the LA Times. You know, what went wrong with the Sparks? Was it too many injuries? Was there not enough young talent? I don't know the answer, but because that's a reason. There's a reason for that. I have more important things to do, like swatting houseflies in this hotel room. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about the Dodgers pitching, particularly without Walker Buehler. Tell me if you believe that Asante Samuel is, in fact, the star of the defense. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.